Well, first the suit, then the hike. Al Sharpton's daughter, Dominique, suing New York City for a whopping $5 million after saying she sprained her ankle on uneven pavement in a crosswalk last fall. But that didn't stop her from allegedly doing this, hiking a mountain on vacation in Bali and posting it online. Sabrina, you say frivolous lawsuits like this are costing us all billions. Explain.
Yeah, the Institute for Legal Reform, David, says that this costs the American economy $264 billion a year. That breaks down to $850 per person that's coming out of the economy. It is no surprise why businesses a number of years ago were sort of fleeing states like Texas because of these kind of frivolous lawsuits. Businesses want to be able to create jobs, create opportunity. Lawsuits like this are hurting all of us.
And Bruce, there are ways to combat frivolous lawsuits, like loser pays. If you bring a frivolous lawsuit and you lose, you got to pay the court costs for everybody.
Well, I'd say in her case, she's already being embarrassed nationally about this, and the case probably isn't going anywhere. But one reason is because there's such a backlog of cases. But what some people have done, rather than loser pays, like in health care, they've gone to outside mediators, like a retired judge. And if you can get both sides to agree, it goes before him. It reduces the size of the verdict, and it throws out some unnecessary cases. And if somebody wants to get in line, then they can do that.
But, John, those states that have really instituted tort reform, really cutting down on frivolous lawsuits, like Texas, for example. They started that in the early 2000s. The doctors used to be leaving that state because of all the malpractice suits, the frivolous ones. Now they're coming back, and the lawyers are leaving. That's a good thing, right?
It's a beautiful thing. Capital goes where it's treated well, and I think you hit on the important point that it's occurring in states. States should be laboratories for how we reform this. Now, it's interesting applied to Sharpton's daughter. Imagine if Bill de Blasio were to institute a loser pays in New York based on this. Something tells me he would actually please both sides of the ideological divide in New York, given where this lawsuit's coming from. I think this is a great place to start, and it would go national.
And it's not only costing billions in the courts, Bill, but even the settlements to cities and businesses who settle out of court these frivolous claims have to pay $35.6 billion.
Yeah, but I find loser pays to have a certain danger in it. Let's say, David, you and I are fighting over $500. So I hire a lawyer for $1,000 and sue, and now there's $1,500 on the table. You don't want to lose it, so you see me and raise me $1,000. You put $2,000 into your lawyer, and now there's $3,500 up there, and suddenly the thing starts ballooning because I can't afford to lose $3,500, so I invest $3,000 in the next round of litigation, and pretty soon we're into the lawyers for $100,000.
Carrie, let's not get too much into the weeds here. The bottom line is that frivolous lawsuits cost us our dignity, frankly. Our idea of self-reliance, personal responsibility, go out the window with this. When I break my ankle, if I step off a curb, I pay for it myself. I don't sue somebody.
I think this case should be dismissed on its merits immediately because we've got to have a fast track here to deal with this. Apparently, right after this happened, she was also climbing a stepladder to decorate a Christmas tree. She was also wearing high heels. I sprained my ankle before. I wear high heels. You don't mix those two. The thing is, Al Sharpton has actually not defended his daughter here. And it got me thinking about his tax bill. Maybe he knows that if he paid his $4.5 million in taxes, it would go to these frivolous lawsuits.
That's an interesting thought. But, Richard, the idea of personal responsibility, that used to be a hallmark of the American character. No more. Everybody just sues if they do something to themselves.
Yeah, sure, because it's like a lottery ticket, and that's why you need loser pay to throw up some disincentives for people to buy a lottery ticket. You know, most people are just seeking settlement. You raise that, and that's where businesses really get hurt. They settle ridiculous suits they know they could win because they're just on the off chance, you know, they draw a bad jury and then are going to have to pay an outrageous settlement.
Yeah, and so, Sabrina, it's other countries actually have gone the pay route. England has done that. They have about 1/10 the number of malpractice suits that we do here in the U.S.
Yeah, there's absolutely a lot of room for tort reform and including loser pay legislation, which I think could go a long way. But it also goes to your point, David, that we are living in this sort of culture of narcissism where people want constant approval, constant verification, and there's a sense of entitlement that everybody has something coming to them. The fact is the people that would be paying this out are you and me and well, I don't live in New York, but the other taxpayers of New York City. And the fact is that's what's so wrong about this, and I hope that this could lead to a cultural shift as well.
And Bruce, you live in a city, Chicago, and I don't need to tell you this, you're on the verge of bankruptcy in Chicago, but you guys can't afford to pay out any more of these frivolous suits.
Well, I'm a native Iowan where this comes in, so let me just say, no, I'm just kidding. I would just say that the mediation, one of the reasons why in healthcare some of the hospitals have gone to these outside mediators is because even if you sue, there's such a backlog here. You might not even see a day in court, and so
but that doesn't
they're able to
stop
get the plaintiffs
from doing it.
You don't even need mediation for this case. I'm sorry, this case does not deserve mediation. What happens is when these sort of cases come up, you're spending money that actually should go to people who actually need it.
When somebody's truly been
on the cover of the New York Post, I guarantee the city would have settled it for at least thousands, if not millions of dollars. All right. Meanwhile, the Cash It In gang getting ready to roll at the bottom of the hour. Eric, what do you have?
Hey, David, more than 7 years after the Great Recession, the government's still dishing out more than $100 billion a year on food aid. Now a plan to finally cut it back, and how the IRS could force the Clinton Foundation to become totally transparent. See you at the bottom of the hour.
Thanks, Eric. We will be watching. But up here first, no college degree? Well, no problem. Governor Scott Walker says being a college dropout could actually help him, not hurt him, if he runs for the White House. Sparking a new debate, is college really worth it?